Hello, welcome to Dry Creek Beekeeping. Beekeeping is expensive. There's really no getting around that fact. If you're just getting into beekeeping and planning on getting some hives, you might not know how much it costs. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how much it costs, some tips on what and where to buy beekeeping stuff, and also some of my own personal experiences with buying stuff for beekeeping. Like I said before, beekeeping is expensive. And this doesn't just mean your first year of beekeeping is expensive. No, beekeeping is always expensive. But if you do it right, it can pay off. I'm going to go through a best case scenario for the first 4 years of a beekeeping business. And then I'm going to go through my own personal experiences of my first 4 years of running a beekeeping business. The costs for the best case scenario will be based off the lowest cost to beekeep, given that they are 10 frame hives, the brood boxes are deep supers, and there are no extra useful items, only the bare minimum. And this means no protective clothing either. So instead of just telling you how much it would cost, I'm actually going to go shopping online. I'm only going to be using specific websites that I really trust, and these are Dadant and Galena Farms to buy the stuff. You could get the cost down even further by looking other places. However, for the sake of simplicity, I am not going to be doing that, and I'm just going to be using those two websites. All right, now it's time to do some shopping. So I am on the website Dadant right now, and what I'm looking for is 2 deep super bodies, an inner cover, an outer cover, a bottom board, and some frames. So let's start with the deep supers. And we're going to need 2 of these, and what I'm looking for is either commercial or economy. I'm going to go with commercial because it's the only one that actually has a price here. This one doesn't. And we're going to change the quantity to 2 because you need 2 of them to start a hive. And now we're going to look for bottom board. And I don't want to go with anything fancy here, just a pretty basic bottom board. And now an inner cover and an outer cover. And then it'll be time to look for some frames. I really recommend going with a telescoping metal outer cover because while it is slightly more expensive than some other options, it is much better. And it will last longer as well. Alright, and our total here is $102.80 for all of this, which is just the basic things that you need to start a hive. So let's go over to Galena Farms and look for some frames. Here's some frames. Go for the 20 pack. It's going to be $69. So we're going to want to add up that roughly $103 and that $69. And the final total is $172. That is without tax and shipping. Of course, you could get this down even more by buying used items. Now, like I said, this is without buying any protective clothing or quality of life items. Buying these things will up the cost even more. Also, of course, you're going to have to buy bees too, so toss in another $150 or more dollars. For the sake of this scenario, let's say a package of bees is $150. Now that we have the starting cost out of the way, let's go through the best case scenario for the first 4 years of a beekeeping business. Of course, this won't be best case scenario, this will be best realistic case scenario. I gotta use notes for this part. So, you would start off the year with negative $322. By the end of the year, your hive will not have produced any honey. This is very typical for the first year of owning a hive. After your hive survives the winter, Let's assume that you bought a new bee package and 2 honey supers. Now you're at negative $521. This doesn't last long, however, as in the second year of beekeeping, you get 2 honey supers worth of honey, which is about 80 pounds, and assuming that you sell it at $15 a pound, that gives you $1,200, which means to end your second year of beekeeping, you have $679. Impressive. From there, you buy 2 more hives, putting you at $35. Doesn't matter though, because by the end of the third year, you harvested 4 full honey supers and got 160 pounds of honey, or $2,400, meaning that you are at $2,435 to end your third year of beekeeping. You don't buy anything the next year, you see no real reason to. And by the end of the fourth year, you harvest 320 pounds of honey. And now you're at $7,235 total. Great job. You still shouldn't make this a full-time job. Now, my own personal experience with spending money on beekeeping. Keep in mind that beekeeping is a unique experience for everyone, so you shouldn't base your decision or your expectations off of my experiences. My first year of beekeeping, I got lucky because I got a lot of the stuff necessary for beekeeping as gifts, or I used the money from gifts to buy that stuff, so I only ended up spending about $200 of my own money. For the first year, I earned no money off of honey, which, like I said, is expected for a first-year hive. However, over the winter, that hive died from ventilation problems. And the next year, I spent $150 on a new hive, which almost died right away due to a queen dying a virgin. But some quick thinking saved it, and I was able to get 60 pounds worth of honey, which I sold for a profit of $808. This finally put me back in the positives for money. Then my hive died again. Last year, I bought 2 new colonies for $278 and 40 frames for $116. The new hive itself, the beta hive, I built from scratch, which is something that I am never going to do again, and ended up getting 40 pounds of honey and $600. Going into this year, that put me in the positives for a few months. Right now, I am currently $40 in the negatives and expect to be over $300 in the negatives by April, since I'm buying beekeeping supplies for 4 new hives. However, if everything goes well this year and my hives don't die again during the winter, I'm expecting a profit of $1,200 to $2,400. I'm going to end this video by giving you some tips on how and where to buy beekeeping stuff. First, use well-known websites like Amazon, eBay, Mountain Sweet Honey, Galena Farms, and Dadamp. Do not use websites like Etsy or just stuff that isn't well known in general, because it's probably not going to be high quality. Also, buy stuff unassembled. It's going to be cheaper that way, and it's not that hard to just build it yourself. And when you can, buy stuff in either economy or commercial grade, because it's about the same quality, but it's way cheaper. And finally, just because you can build a beehive yourself doesn't mean you should. I learned this the hard way. It might be cheaper, it's probably going to be significantly lower quality and have a shorter usable life. Well, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and maybe even subscribe. Also, if you have any questions about beekeeping or just have something to say, feel free to leave a comment. See you in the next video.